So I take my daughter to preschool dressed like this, and I get a notification suddenly that Mark Hamill, not only has he talked to Sebastian Stan about the Luke Skywalker recast, he approves of Sebastian Stan. He wants him to be the new Luke Skywalker going forward.
Do it.
So Sebastian's stunt double talked about this, John Nania.
Do you know how many conversations he and I have had about this? Literally, there was a moment that I'm like, I'm sure you've seen the picture of you as Luke Skywalker. He then told me, he was like, Mark and I have actually talked about this. Like,
That's awesome.
not anything official on like Disney's level in Star Wars, but I guess Mark Hamill has been like, he's a fantastic actor. Let him do it. But then Sebastian, being as awesome as he is, he's like, Mark is still doing the job. I don't want to take the job from him and he's still working. You're not going to beat the original. But then his other side to it is like, they're not calling. He's like, I hear it. I'd love to do it. John is drooling because he would love to do it. It would make Anthony Mackie jealous as shit because he loves Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they're just not calling for it.
I told you that something was in the air. I told you that something was in the air because I could feel that something was coming. So this interview is from Cantina Talk, and I will post the entire interview down in the comments. You can go watch it and support those guys because we got this news, this insane news from them. Let's immediately jump into it. The big question on everybody's mind, even to the stunt double, they haven't been calling. Meaning Disney is not calling Sebastian Stan for the recast. Why? Okay, we have to talk about this. So I think the biggest issue here is that Disney is afraid of both Luke and Leia recast. It has to be. They're just afraid that how the fans will respond. So this is the moment where I would say that in the last video, you saw how many people were supportive of the Sebastian Stan recast. Everybody in the comments were happy about a recast, and especially being Sebastian Stan, because in my mind, I don't have anybody else that comes close to how Sebastian Stan would treat the Luke Skywalker character. He's a fan. If he's talking to Mark Hamill and they already are in agreement, he has Mark's approval, we have nothing more to discuss except for Disney not calling. The reason why I'm saying they're afraid is because of fan backlash. As I said in the last video, we have some pull. It's not like nobody is asking us. We got Rosario Dawson, Mars Mikkelsen to be Thrawn. We have thrown a bunch of ideas out there that they have grabbed, but you know what it is? You know, honestly, what I think in the back of my mind, what I'm afraid of and why they aren't calling Sebastian Stan, why they aren't even attempting for a Luke recast or a Leia recast. I'm afraid to say this, but I'm going to say it, and the hell with it. I think that they buried the character of Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi. At the end of the day, if you think about it, Luke has only made cameos, like brief cameos, in Mandalorian Book of Boba Fett, and the character is essentially gone. And they want these new characters to advance their sequel trilogy or sequel era. If you think about how the series are developing, the movies, even in Star Wars Celebration, did you hear anything about Luke Skywalker in the last Star Wars Celebration? No, you didn't. It's because they want Ahsoka, they want Mando to fight Thrawn, and this whole new era to be with these new characters and a legacy character in Ahsoka. Thrawn is already mixed up in there with the EU and everything. They want these original characters to just pass on silently and not address it, but they forget that we are the most diehard fans out there. Whether for good or for bad, it's the thing we love. We grew up with it. And I want my kid to grow up with it too. I just started this video with saying that I sent my daughter to preschool. You know what we did yesterday? We watched that, short presentation or trailer or video that Star Wars put out for May the 4th. And it was great and she loved it. And I snapped a couple of pictures with her with my NeoPixel lightsaber. She is 2 years old. She doesn't understand a thing. She calls Grogu baby because we told her this is Baby Yoda. And when you think about it from that point of view, you kind of understand that, it's Grogu, it's Mando, it's Ahsoka and Hera and Ezra. These are the characters that they want to move forward with and not Luke Skywalker. And this is kind of tragic because this is an era like no other. This is turmoil to the nth level. The New Republic hasn't been formed. Thrawn is back with his Heir to the Empire trilogy. So why can't Luke be a part of this? Why can't Luke be a permanent part of this battle? You can have Ahsoka and Mando and Ezra and Luke. We don't have to divide to have this division. In the back of my mind, I'm just scared that they just want to erase Luke. We've had enough of Luke Skywalker. Lucasfilm, in this Disney canon, there's no Luke Skywalker 3D animated series, which we can easily have post Return of the Jedi, the adventures that Luke had. He had tons of adventures, the ancient texts, the ancient knowledge. what he can gather out there, he could go to Vader's castle. We've never had a comic series or an animated episode, anything, that he just travels to Vader's castle. Let's see what the hell is out there. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but at the end of the day, this is how I feel. It's nonsensical. It doesn't make sense. Mark Hamill has approved. The fans approve. Just check out my last video, Disney, Lucasfilm. Check out this video. Please let them know down in the comments. What do you think about Sebastian Stan being recasted and playing Luke Skywalker for the Heir to the Empire era? There is just another hint that I sometimes think about, is that during the Heir to the Empire era, that Thrawn is now back into the galaxy and they will duke it out. Luke is 28 years old, somewhere around there, 28, maybe 29. And Sebastian Stan is a bit older. He's 42 now, 43 if they start shooting 44. Now in Thunderbolts, I mean, he looked great physically, but they might have that thinking that the opportunity was gone. When he was Bucky in 13, 14, it might have been great for him to be recast then. Now he's just a bit older, but even that's not an excuse. I'm trying to make excuses for them and I can't, because we got Hayden back as Anakin now in Ahsoka Season 1, and they had a touch of de-age in him. Just a touch, just a smidge. You could do the same thing for Sebastian Stan. The tragedy here, if you think about it, it's not just Luke Skywalker, it's Leia too. You will have to contend with Leia in this New Republic era, and they're not even talking about a recast for Leia either. I don't know what they're planning. Luke and Leia have just been completely wiped out, and they're not even talking about them. We talked in the last video about, Millie Bobby Brown perhaps being recast as Leia, which I thought was not a good idea, because I don't like her in that role. Leia has more gravitas to her. She's just kind of a more serious character than what I think Millie Bobby Brown would bring to the table. And there was a great comment that I haven't really thought about, and I'm going to post it here. This guy said that the actress playing Clea Markey in Andor could actually play Leia and would do a great job, and I 1,000,000% agree. That character, if you look at her from afar, she really looks like a Leia character. She's a kind of a diplomat. She knows when to fake smile and when to be tough. And this is Leia all the way. She was captured by Tarkin and she smiled in his face and stood tall to Darth Vader and Tarkin both in the room. I think that type of an actress, if it's not this specific actress. At the end of the day, Disney, there are no more excuses. Not from the fans and not from even the actors. You heard what the stunt double of Sebastian Stan just said. He is waiting. Sebastian Stan is waiting to be called, and he's not being called. He's not being talked to about any recast because, as I said, I don't think they have any plans for Luke or Leia, because they just want to move on with Ahsoka and with Mando and Ezra Bridger. This is their investment instead of Luke Skywalker, who can be completely recast with Sebastian Stan. Why would this divide exist? I don't know. But it's not fair to the fans, Lucasfilm and Disney. It's not fair to the fans. This is a travesty. You need to pick up the phone and talk to Sebastian Stan. Just give him the role already. Listen to the fans. Go comment right now down below. Listen to what they have to say down below in this video. They want Sebastian Stan. Mark Hamill wants Sebastian Stan to play the future Luke Skywalker. And if everything fails, the other non-excuse is, why don't we have a 3D animated Luke Skywalker adventure? There is not a single reason why would you present to me that we can't do it. No problem with the actor. It's a 3D model. Plenty of adventures, plenty of planets, plenty of storylines that you can focus on with Luke being the main character. It's like that meme when we're saying, like, take my money, Disney, and they don't want it. I don't understand. I'm just going to continue rambling. I'm going to end this video because I'm just going to continue rambling.